Welcome to the Dragon Den here at St. George's School in Newport, Rhode Island, where we are moments away from National Squash League regular season action between the Chicago Grizzlies and the Newport Dragons. Evening, everyone. My name is Jackson Bragman. Sean Choi alongside for tonight's all-important battle here in the NSL North Division. Sean.
Jackson, couldn't be more thrilled to be here today. And the Dream Team is back. They pitted us against each other. They got us new commentators, paired us up with different people, but I'm just glad to be back with you, back in the show.
They can't break us up for today's match. They can't break up the Dream Team. I can't wait. We're supposed to commentate the exhibition match, the Legends versus the Young Guns exhibition match in September. It wasn't meant to be. We were supposed to commentate together in Charlottesville for the NSL drafts. Didn't happen, but here we are, Newport, Rhode Island. I am in the comfort of my dorm room here in Granville, Ohio at Edison University. You're obviously out in New York. We're doing this one remotely. Hopefully we'll see each other face to face in the not too distant future. And the third member of our team, Bill Buckingham, live and in living color in Newport, RI for tonight's matchup. I can't wait. Grizzlies and the Dragons. This is the first matchup for both of these teams this season. We kicked off the NSL regular season last weekend with two matches on the men's side. Philly and Atlanta victorious last weekend. They both advanced to 1-0 on the season. Chicago and Newport hoping to join those teams as 1-0 after this evening here at St. George's. We'll introduce the rosters and the lineups in a few moments here, but waiting to see if we're going to throw to Bill Buckingham down in Newport. No, I think we've got a few minutes here. So, Sean, do you want to take a few moments and talk about maybe Team Newport, and then we'll maybe get to Chicago after that?
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, first of all, I'm worried for my hearing tonight, Jackson. You know this crowd. This crowd is probably the best out there right now in the NSL, and it's going to be hard to top from last year, but I'm already looking at the atmosphere on the camera here in the live stream, and they've got more people from last year, so I'm worried for both our hearings with the screaming that's going to be happening throughout the evening. And
yeah, of course,
I mean, louder the better, right?
High boarding school, and so yeah, a lot of the student body out in full force here for tonight's matchup. So we can certainly expect a pretty ruckus atmosphere here in Newport. We see Celebrity Row up front, the Lovejoy family. Sam Lovejoy, recent graduate of Connecticut College. Shout out to Sam and the Lovejoys, all here in full force as well. Here in Newport, their Bill is bobbing us head along. And before we do get to the rosters, let's save that for a little bit later, Sean. First, let's talk about the rules and just get a general landscape for those who may be joining us for the first time here on the National Squash League YouTube channel. First of all, welcome. Don't be shy. Smash the like button, hit subscribe so you never miss an NSL match ever again. We have two matches coming up tomorrow. Big-time women's match between the Philadelphia Freedom and the DC Inferno, and then the Sono Sharks as well in action tomorrow. So make sure that you tune in for those. But right here in Newport, let's talk about the rules.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning in now, at this point, we shouldn't even have to repeat these rules. But just one more friendly reminder, how does it work? Each team is going to utilize 3 players over 3 periods of squash. So the leading team, by score after each period, will win that leg of the match, and teams can sub their players on and off and use power plays for the win. And how do power plays work? So each team's going to have 2-minute power plays in the first 2 periods, and in the third period, each team has one more additional 1-minute power play. And only the team on the power play can score points and serve, and the defending team can win rallies, but they're not going to be able to score points or serve. And no concurrent power plays, and no power plays with 4 minutes or less on the clock. And the running clock is going to be 2 20-minute periods, and the final period being 30 minutes. First 2 legs are worth 1 point, and the final leg is worth 2 points. If tied after 3 legs, we're going to do that overtime shootout that we're looking for, Jackson. And I guess we're on to Bill Buckingham taking over the show.
Newport, Rhode Island, and the National Squash League. We have a fantastic match on tap here for you tonight, featuring the Chicago Grizzlies and your Newport Dragons. Let's meet the Chicago Grizzlies. Please welcome to the court the coach, Andy McAfee. he is the 57th ranked player in the world from Pakistan, Asif Khan. From Argentina, he is the 74th ranked player in the world, Jeremias Azania. And please welcome, from England, the 114th ranked player in the world, Parrot Malik. And the first alternate from Colombia, Pipe Barrera. And now, for your Newport Dragons. Your head coach, Pat Koster. From Egypt, the 134th ranked player in the world, Abdel Rahman Nasser. From England, the 96th ranked player in the world, Finlay Whittington. And from the United States, one of the founders of the NSL, please welcome the number 78th ranked player in the world, Spencer Lovejoy.
Say cheese, Sean. We are moments away from the first match of the Chicago Grizzlies, first match of the Newport Dragons here in 2025. Picturesque here at center court. Pleasantries exchanged when that glass door is shut and the clock gets going. That is all done and dusted. We've got 6 great competitors here doing battle this evening. Bill Buckingham, suave as always, suave and smooth. Sometimes the name pronunciations are not his strength. I thought he did an outstanding job here tonight, Sean.
Oh, he did a brilliant job, as he always does, except butchering Mohammed Al-Shabagi's nationality.
Yeah, of course, which the
Speaking
great
of.
story of Mohammed Al-Shabagi never came out onto the court after Bill said that he was from Egypt. He had recently transitioned to England at the time, of course, so he waited until Bill got it right. Fast forward a couple of years now, Bill and Mohammed Al-Shabagi are best friends, in case you haven't caught that episode of Squash Radio starring Bill Buckingham. We're all friends here in the squash podcasting space, Sean. We're all about the shameless plugs, and we're all it's all a big happy family. So listen to Squash Radio, listen to the Rally Report, listen to Squash University, wherever you get your podcasts.
But make sure to just tune in a little more on the Squash University and Rally Report rather than the Squash Radio one.
So
but
Spencer
here we go,
Lovejoy.
Jackson. We got the first lineup here, right? Jeremiah Azana versus Spencer. They're not being around. I think they're probably one of the top 2 of each team. Or no, probably Azim Khan's probably going to be the top. But very similar in playing style, I think, these two. Very steady. And I've said this last week as well. Steady is the name of the game to start the NSL format, I think. You don't want to get carried away with a huge deficit.
Absolutely. What is unique about the NSL format is typically you don't see too much easing into the match, given that these players are on court for such short bursts. Obviously, you have 3 players and you have substitutions. We explained the rules a few moments ago. If you're confused, don't worry. Sean and I will be here all night to take you through the happenings of tonight's match and explain the power plays and the substitutions as they come up. But generally, most of these shifts for these individuals tend to be around 7 or 8 minutes. So in those 7 or 8 minutes, each player is going to want to throw the kitchen sink at their opponent. They're not going to want to play cat and mouse and rally up and down the sidewall and ease into things as much as maybe they would in a traditional best-of-5 format. So expect a blistering pace from the very start. The Newport faithful wait anxiously for this matchup to get underway. Between two players kicking things off, a very similar ranking, kind of in the 70s, 80s range in terms of their world ranking on the PSA World Tour. But Sean, as we've come to discover in the National Squash League over the course of the last year plus, is that ranking is not necessarily indicative of level when it comes to the National Squash League. It's a completely different format here in the NSL.
No, absolutely. And I'm curious, I mean, before we even start, Jackson, we got to put you on the spot here. What are your predictions for tonight before these guys get the game started here?
Yeah, I think these rosters look pretty even. Obviously, both of these teams missing their star players this evening. Just to address the elephant in the room, Mohamed El Sharbaghi was the first-round pick for the Newport Dragons this year. One of the certainly 10 greatest squash players of all time. If you want to go higher, be my guest. I'm not going to be the one to stop you. One of the greatest players of the 21st century, Mohamed El Sharbaghi, who will hopefully see in NSL action later on this year, but not here tonight for the Newport home match. And Yusuf Ibrahim, the first-round pick for the Chicago Grizzlies. Ibrahim played for the Atlanta Tornadoes last year. This season, playing for Chicago, he is also not here in attendance at St. George's. So obviously, two somewhat depleted rosters, but a lot of talent, a lot of depth nonetheless. Really evenly matched teams here, and I think that the Newport home crowd is going to push the Dragons over the edge. Sean, what say you?
I'll play the devil's advocate and go for Chicago Grizzlies.
Oh wow! All right, and we're off. Great racket spin to start things off, and Azania, it's a dream start.
Straight to the neck.
Picture perfect width on the cross court. Yeah, but to your point earlier, Sean, these are two pretty defensive players. Super fit and super athletic are Spencer and Jeremiah, so be interesting to see who gets the better of this opening exchange here in period number one. The first two periods, 20 minutes apiece, and the third period, 30 minutes, and it's worth an extra point. So even if a team loses the first two periods, they can draw even in the third. And that's a roller from Lovejoy right off the bat, flat as a pancake. Welcome to the show.
He's not messing about.
He says.
He's not messing about.
As I was saying before, that outrageous shot from Spencer on the serve return, that third period worth 2 points. So even if a team wins the first two periods, the other team can win the third, draw even, and that would force a shootout that we talked about a little bit in the introduction. Oh, that's a great shot, a great dig from Azania. It's that Wilstrop long drop on the backhand side.
Great get.
And if a shootout does come to fruition, we will make sure to update you on all the rules. It's kind of like a penalty shootout that you might see in the Soccer World Cup or the Champions League. 1 point at a time.
Jackson, I thought they'd be easing into it, but they are attacking.
No, they're throwing everything at the other. Pulling no punches are Lovejoy and Azania. Spencer, one of the top professionals in the United States. Obviously, graduate of Yale University, where he won the Skillman Award, the highest award an individual in college squash can win for excellence in on-court play and sportsmanship. So great college career for Spencer. He's in the high 70s right now, but he's been up to the low 60s in terms of the world rankings. 26 years old right now. Will celebrate his 27th birthday later this month. Azania, meanwhile, one of the top South American players in the world. I believe he is the Argentinian #1 as of right now. You know, I take that back. I apologize. That would be Leandro Romiglia would be Argentinian #1. I think he's Argentinian #2. Apologies. And he's
based in Connecticut.
Yeah, you took words out of my mouth. Based in Connecticut there. Yeah, take it away, Sean.
No, he's a great player. I think very balanced. I think his upside also is huge. So, and keep in mind that these two, I mean, Spencer's the co-founder of the league, but these two have both played the format last year, so I don't think anything's going to catch them off guard at this point coming into the second season.
Is quality, Sean.
What an exchange there. First fist bump of the night. Jeremiah not messing around.
Pimp of the evening. Yeah, it's some great retrieval work from Spencer there, but just too much quality from Azania. The Bullfrog, as he is known. Off to a hot start here. He looks really sharp out of the gate, Sean.
Slight hold.
You know how good Spencer is defensively. Oh, that's another great
got
piece
me,
of deception.
Jackson. Got me.
Yeah, got me. I almost fell out of my chair here in Granville. Oh, what? Once again, firing it in is Lovejoy, who's feeling himself. I was just going to question if he's going to be able to put the ball away when he has attacking opportunities. He has 2 big-time winners, and there's a stroke as he draws even here. 4 minutes in to this opening period from Newport. Wow, winners galore, left and right, wherever you look. Loving the quality here in the early going, Sean.
It's great. Great squash to start this off. Seems Jeremiah has the edge on the lengthy rallies, but Spencer's just putting the ball in short off the serve and winning these quick points.
Yeah, it seems like
finding his
most
range
part,
there.
Yeah, Spencer's hit a couple great winners seemingly out of nowhere, but for the most part, it seems like Azania has Spencer on a bit of a string here. He's really controlling these rallies, moving Lovejoy corner to corner. Spencer, though, not giving an inch. Trying to step up and volley a little bit, but that is tight work from Azania. Wow.
And the crowd is silent.
Crowd quiet after that ball was Elmer's glued to the side wall by Azania. Newport faithful looking for something to get excited about here. Little fake.
Width is a little loose from Spence right now.
And here a pin drop right now in Newport. I mean, this is really some great quality from Azania.
And he's
must
built
be doing
the
some
first
great
lead
work
of the game,
down in
3-point
Florida
lead.
with El Hindi at Kinetic.
Diagonal pattern there. Great work from Spencer to
That's really nice.
mitigate the lead now up to 2 points.
It's a great sequence from Spencer. The ball was good, it looks like. Mike Riley, your official for this evening's matchup, one of the most seasoned squash refs in the world, recently retired from the PSA World Tour, but still in and
Clever
around
serve there.
the game. Officiating collegiate and NSL matches. Little body serve from Spencer. Zanya had a little bit of a cushion.
Oh, that is...
Spencer's cut the deficit down to 1. That's a great piece of movement from Spencer. Oh, my goodness. Great retrieval. And Azania with great quality, but Spencer is moving like I haven't seen him move in months. That's a great shot from Spencer.
That's gotta get the crowd riled up.
What a rally. Can't believe he worked himself back into an attacking position there. Azania was doing a handstand practically in the front right corner, and Spencer put him away, and answering is the Argentinian.
These courts seem quite dead up front, so I think firing it in short might be the move here to start this off.
Yeah, we've seen Azania hit about 4 or 5 of those long backhand drop shots from the back of the court. Oh my goodness, the deception once again.
Little taxi there.
And here's our first substitution of the evening. With just over 13 minutes remaining in this opening period, Finlay Withington in here for the Newport Dragons, the world number 96.
Hailing from England.
Finlay, yeah, hailing from Manchester.
Had a fantastic junior career.
Yes, he did.
Good to see him transition over to the senior tour. I think he's a player with so much potential, and not quite moving up the senior rankings as I wished he has, but I think that speaks to his potential there. So very excited to see his progression upwards and what he can show off in the NSL format in his debut performance here.
Yeah, Finlay's first NSL match, only 21 years old. He's been a bit stagnant in the rankings the past year and a half or so. But once again, we mentioned, here's the Mizuki and Azania with the kitchen sink at Withington. And that's a great rally. It should put some major work into the legs of Azania. See if the Grizzlies look to make a substitution here in the next minute or so.
Finlay
still
also
only
not
21.
one to shy away He's not
That
one
was a
to
very
shy away
forward player, Sean.
utilize the front of the court. So should be exciting and very creative type of squash we're about to see here.
Yeah, you mentioned his junior career, a former British Junior Open champion. He beat Jonah Bryant in the British Junior Open finals in 2023.
And he was a World Junior finalist. And
He was a World Junior finalist. And here's Finlay.
Power play, just like that.
We got a power play on our hands. So, folks, for the next 2 minutes, Newport is the only team that can score. Newport will serve every single point regardless of who wins the rally. So the objective for Azania, stretch out these rallies, make them last as long as possible. The objective for Finlay, win as many points as he can in the next 2 minutes with no regard for errors or mistakes, because even if he hits the tin, there's point number 1 on the power play. Even if Finlay hits the tin, just like he did there, he will not lose a point. So the goal is to just go as fast as he can, try to pull out as many winners as he's able to over the course of these next 2 minutes. Each team has 1 2-minute power play in the first 2 periods, and then in the third, each team will have a 2-minute power play and a 1-minute power play at their disposal. Look for Withington to be the primary power play player for the Dragons.
Oh, my.
Azania, it's a Nick Fest. Too bad he's not on power play right now, Sean.
I've never seen someone use the power play like that on defense. Is that 4 points for... Oh, that's a poor error.
Shooting on the serve return. This is really interesting. Not sure if this is the
very
right strategy.
confusing.
I agree. It could be a yes let. Maybe not. He may have gone the wrong way.
Yes let.
I think they give a no let, Sean. I think it's the right call.
30 seconds left on the
I've never seen someone this attacking when they're on the defensive end. On the
maybe
power play.
Azania doesn't want to just float the ball around and put easy shots onto Finley's racket. There's a hold and a fake.
I think he's playing this incorrectly. He's playing this incorrectly.
Azania once again flubs the serve return. Oh no, he may have lost them the period on this power play defense. Azania, he played so well
after that great start. Yeah.
And we're over halfway through this first period. Azania, heavy legs. That must be why he is gassed. The Grizzlies are going to check him off as soon as this power play is done. Yeah, there you go.
Much needed substitute.
No substitutions allowed during the power play. So you are stuck out there on an island for 2 minutes. And Withington, what did he get? What did he start with before that? Was he at 10 or 11? I mean, that's a big time power play for the man from Manchester.
That might be an all-time statistic there from how many points he scored, but a bit poor, I think, with how Azania handled that. I think there needs to be a regroup there from the coach, letting him know the strategy to defend the power play.
Yeah, Andy McAfee will certainly have a word with the Argentinian is now here.
Such a good start.
Yeah, he really was great. I mean, it is tough when you're 8 minutes into your shift and then the power play is called. Maybe a misstep by McAfee not subbing off Azania when Withington came on and giving the Dragons the opportunity to capitalize with that power play. But regardless, here we are. The Grizzlies do still have a power play at their disposal, so they're not out of it yet. Here's Perry Malik, member of that famous Malik family. This is great movement from Withington, but he's not able to dig that ball back in the front left. Malik.
These are 2 polar opposite playing styles. Perry Malik,
yeah, Perry, much like his brother Curtis. Yeah, very conservative, traditional English game. Whereas Withington, very forward, never one to shy away from taking it into the forecourt. That should be a stroke. Finlay looking to build that cushion. Of course, Perry Malik with 4 siblings, also playing on the PSA World Tour. His brother Curtis, 33 in the world right now, playing for and representing Team England at the European Championships right now. His sister, Tori, 44 in the Worlds. At only 21 years old, having a lot of success on the women's tour. And then, of course, his twin brothers, Bailey and Heston, who are only 19 years old each. Perry, at 23 years old, currently ranked 114 in the world with the highest ranking of 75, looking to break back into that top 100 before season's end. But here he is in Newport, battling it out for the Chicago Grizzlies. Finds the tin there, Sean. And Sean, dating back to last season, the inaugural season of the National Squash League, Chicago, the only men's team without a win in their team's history. Will that change today? Based on what we've seen here in the opening period, it looks like Newport's in the driver's seat. Yeah.
I think it was a great tactic from the Newport Dragons by putting that power play immediately. We've seen that a lot as there's player transitions with substitutions to kind of throw players off. But so right now, I mean, they have the player quality to do it. We have Asim Khan on the bench too, who's probably the highest ranked player. So we'll see how this goes. But this is a monumental task now for the entirety of the team.
This is the period right here, Sean. Here's the power play. Perry Malik has some major work to do here.
Substitution for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I was going to say that Perry Malik wouldn't be the #1 choice for a power play. I think Asim Khan is probably a better attacking player.
That's a good point, Sean. Now, Sean, what do you think about Khan calling this? Or no, they're not going to play the power play quite yet. You're going to let Khan ease into things for a couple of rallies here. I think it's very smart.
Probably the right idea. Very short shift from Perry Malik there. I think this might be, honestly, Jackson, this might be a little panic hours from Chicago Grizzlies.
Yeah, Khan, the highest ranked player in this matchup, world number 57. Had a big time win at the Charlottesville Open back in September. A copper event on the PSA World Tour that he won. It was a huge result for him that saw him skyrocket up the rankings. At 28 years old, he is the Pakistani #1, representing a country that historically has had so much success in squash, but in recent years looking to have a bit of a resurgence. And Asim Khan could be the man to lead the charge. He's going to have a tall task here to get the Grizzlies back into this first period.
Should be good to get a bit more work done on those legs of Finley and then use the power play. So it's really all about the coaching right now, I think. Are they keeping an eye on how tired Finley is? Kind of catch him off guard before they can make another substitution here.
That's a great point, Sean. And Finley's legs look really heavy. As soon as this point is over, if I'm Alec McAfee, I would call, yeah, it is a no let, the right call. Oh, they've missed their opportunity.
This is just brilliant job by Newport.
Yeah, Pat Kosker, who's the head coach here of the St. George's School, doubling as the Newport coach here tonight, and he's done a brilliant job in the early going. Here is Abdel Rahman Nassar. Nassar graduated from Trinity College this time last year. Was the captain of that team his senior season, and given it a real go here on the Pro Tour from Cairo, Egypt. He is the world number 134 as of right now. Picked up a signature win over the former world number 3, Omar Mossad, at the Chicago 15K Challenger Tour event back in February. And here is the power play. Can Asim Khan do some damage here against Nassar and his fresh legs? We'll see. And that's a brilliant piece of touch from Nassar, holding his own here in the early going. Nassar drafted in the 4th round by Newport, which a lot of people thought was a bit too high. but this guy can certainly play.
He's got, again, incredible upside. What a college career he's had. Great to see him tackle the Pro Tour as he should with his hands and his abilities. But then again, there is a huge ranking gap here. So if there is a move to be made from Asim Khan, it's got to be now.
It'll be a stroke.
1 minute left in the power play. 1 minute.
Yeah, and it looks like Newport is going to hold strong here and take the first period unless chaos ensues in the final 3.5 minutes. That ball cracked out way into the middle. Yeah, it's the right call once again. Khan struggling here on the power play. The way that Lasagna played in the early going of that first period, Sean, I feel like he might be the go-to power play guy for the rest of this match for the Grizzlies.
It's a great point. I probably have to agree with you on that one.
Oh, here's a post straight out of the leisure center. Wow. Lucas Pillar, eat your heart out.
This is how you're supposed to defend it. This is how you're supposed to defend it.
I mean, this is outstanding work from the Egyptian, Nassar.
10 seconds left in the power play. 10 seconds.
Proving his value here in the NSL format.
Oh, the three-wall boast.
Yeah, it's a bit of fortune there, perhaps, for Khan. Sean, so impressed by the quality here, though, in this first period. This has actually been some great squash. Oh, I mean, once again, did you see that hold on the volley? Just that slight hesitation, and then boom, cross court. I mean, this has been great to watch, even though the score is a bit lopsided.
2 minutes left in the period. 2 minutes left.
Oh, Khan almost got him again with the three wall. Oh, that's great width.
I wish he played with a little more urgency right now with the clock. I mean, he could be just letting this period go, which is all fair play to him.
There you go. Nassar is so good tactically. He points to his forehead there, deservedly so. I mean, he has Khan on a rope right now. Nassar just so creative with his shot choice here in this shift. That's Elmer's glued to the side wall in the front left corner. He's going to take his time walking to the service box. Khan really going for it here.
1 minute left in the period. 1 minute.
Yeah, I think they're throwing this one away. It's got to be the... Don't want to waste too much energy with this much of a deficit.
You know, that's probably the right call, Sean. It's probably the right call.
Jags, there's got to be a major regroup from Chicago Grizzlies. I mean, to score only 13 points in the first period, I think, not to be harsh, but it's a little uninspiring from the team.
And this is such great strategy for Newport as well. Nassar checks on late in the first period with a huge lead, and he's really let his arm go here. He's really playing so free.
Absolutely.
And I think it's been a great opportunity for him to get the jitters out here in the first period. And hopefully we're going to see a very confident Abdelrahman Nassar in the second and third periods where you'd imagine the score will be a little bit closer and they'll really need him in some big-time rallies. But he has been awesome here on this shift to close out the first.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Little back wall boast. And he points to the temple once again. Pat Kosker is out of his seat.
He's got to be happy with that first period performance.
Nassar raises his arms in the air. He gets a standing ovation from the Newport faithful. The Chicago Grizzlies have work to do. Andy McAfee will talk things over with his team. Pat Kosker will certainly be happy with his team's performance here in the early going. We're going to take a quick break here. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back from Newport RI after a few short messages.
Driving the most important initiatives for the growth of squash in the United States.
Welcome back to the City by the Sea, Newport, Rhode Island, where we are live from the St. George's School for NSL regular season action between the home team, the Newport Dragons, and the visiting Chicago Grizzlies. Newport taking that first period, emphatically doubling up the Chicago Grizzlies, who have some major regrouping to do. Jackson Bragman here with Sean Choi alongside for NSL action from Newport. Sean, your takeaways from period number one.
I think takeaway from period number one was I think that was all Jeremiah. I think that was a brilliant start by him, put his team in a very good position, and I think the way he handled that power play, he's way too good of a player. I really do think that was just an honest mistake by him of how he handled that power play. But why don't we move it over to the coaches and see what they have to say as well.
Bill Buckingham, our master of ceremonies, doing great things per usual. And here we see Newport talking things over. They don't have to change much. All three of those gentlemen on your screen played brilliantly in the early going, especially the young gun Abdelrahman Nassar, fresh out of Trinity College, under the tutelage of the great Paul Asiante, and more recently his successor, Mustafa Mata, part of that great program at Trinity College. And
shameless
so
plug
sharp
here.
in the early going.
Jackson Squash University interviews Paul Asiante a week or two back, so if you want to get his input, check out that podcast episode.
Francis Gilpin, Bartlett Lane, my lovely co-host Gilly, the head coach of the University of Pennsylvania Quakers, and I had the opportunity to sit down with the 17-time national championship winning head coach, the 19-time national championship winning coach overall. He's picked up 2 national championships as an assistant for the Trinity women's team in recent years. So the 19-time national champion Paul Asiante on Squash University last week. So make sure to check that out wherever you get your podcasts. Sean, I understand there will be a World Championships preview coming up on the Rally Report podcast as well. Should be dropping in the next couple of days.
You bet.
Encourage all our viewers to check that out as well.
All right, so we see on our screen here a new matchup. I'm always excited when we get new matchups here, and we'll see how this goes against Perry Malik versus Abdelrahman Nassar. A lot of things need to change for Chicago. I really hope they have a good start here if they want to keep themselves competitive. Or maybe they're just queuing up for a shootout. Who knows? Tank the first 2 periods and then all in on that third, right, Jackson?
Yeah, on the Squash University podcast. Now, I'll stop with the plugging after this, but Gilly and I did talk about this on this week's episode of, if maybe things don't go your way in the first, you might want to just kind of feel out your opponent in the second and give it everything in the third. You don't want to overexert yourself in the second and have nothing left for that third period, because all it takes is that third period win to force a tie and a shootout. Maybe we'll be in store for your first shootout ever, Sean. I know you've never been on the comms for an NSL shootout, and you're itching for one. I love this strategy from Kosker, by the way. Abdelrahman Nassar played so well to close out the first period. He was flowing. He's really feeling himself. He's let the arm go. And they trot him back out there to start the second period while he's still feeling all the confidence from the early going there. And built a 2-0 lead before getting caught behind Malik in the center of the court there. But yeah, Chicago with a lot of work to do in terms of their on-court play and also their Tactics, and there's a great
wow.
long drop from the back of the court. We've seen a lot of that today. I think that might be something players are picking up on, where that maybe that front left corner is just really dead here at the St. George's School, and players trying to capitalize on that. We've seen a lot of those long James Willstrop-esque backhand drops from the back left corner. Oh, and there's a boast from Nassar, who's absolutely rolling here, Sean.
Jax, I said it in the first period, and I'll say it again. It is so important to start each period without very close. You don't want to give a lead away, and it quickly becomes a mountain to climb, and you start panicking. You might use an immature power play or premature power play and put your team in trouble here. And it's not the greatest start from Chicago Grizzlies here. I mean, brilliant play from Nassar, but I think that might be a stroke.
That's tight from
As he cuts
Malik.
down to
It
lead to
forces
2.
the stroke, and the Grizzlies really needed that to settle things down. As you see Malik kind of slowing the pace, taking his time, getting back to the service box there. Wants to reset a little bit. Oh, and that is tight work. You know that it's probably the right call there, and cutting the deficit to 1 now is Malik.
Malik showing his consistency. Great length.
That's the line.
Great volley,
Wow.
half volley there.
Yeah, that shot's a lot tougher than it looked. There's that long drop again, not quite as accurate as the first.
See,
Malik on a 4-0 run
Nassar's
here.
game. He's got that brilliant shot making, but the errors quickly rack up.
This is the first piece of adversity that Nassar has had to face. That drop a little bit loose. Yeah, I hate to admit it, but I do think that probably warrants a stroke. Drop shot just not quite tight enough to the sidewall. Nassar is loving the boast here so far in this match.
Getting kind of pinned behind Perry now. Perry really showing how the steady squash can work here.
Yeah, maybe
Trolling the tee.
just tightening up a little bit as Nassar. He's lost the last 5 points. Gets a stroke. Maybe that'll calm some of the nerves.
It's good work from both.
Shows you how deep the...
It can quickly become chaotic, so it's crucial to kind of steady the ship here.
Yeah, very true, Sean. For the Grizzlies? Really? For the Grizzlies, Sean? I mean, Malik was absolutely rolling. That makes no sense. Once again, and maybe tactics could cost the Grizzlies here. Malik was fantastic there. And this is an early substitution. Each team, for those joining us for the first time here for NSL Action Live in Newport, each team only allotted 2 substitutions per period in the first 2 periods. In the third period, which is 30 minutes instead of 20, each team gets a 3rd substitution. So that early sub could end up costing the Grizzlies, as we're barely 4 minutes into this opening period. And Malik was absolutely rolling there. I don't understand that at all, Sean.
Yeah, he finally found his groove after a slow start, but I mean, Asim Khan, great player himself. So we'll see how this play pans out. We're just going to trust the coach's instinct here from Chicago. The matchup we saw to end period 1. I'm sure a lot more rejuvenated version of Asim Khan here. So we'll see how he handles the midsection as we head towards the midsection of this second period.
Oh, and there's the boast again. He is loving that here in his first ever NSL match. Abdelrahman Nassar seems right at home, and here is his first big test.
Another
He's going to have to
power
defend
play.
the power play here. We're all knotted up here in the midpoint of this second period. This is a crucial point of the match. And Nassar, I don't know if I like this from the Grizzlies. Nassar looks so loose, shoulders back, so light on his feet here. And maybe the Grizzlies figure, okay, we're almost 6 minutes into this opening period. Maybe Nassar is starting to tire a little bit.
You know, interesting enough, for the first time I saw last week with El Sturdy, he would not let the rally go more than 3 shots. He would just pick up the ball if he didn't like the positioning of the rally during his power play usage. And I thought that was quite innovative, the way these power plays are advancing.
Yeah,
but
smart. I agree. I think year 2 of the NSL, Sean, we're going to start seeing a lot more. We're going to see a lot more innovative tactics. Sorry to interrupt you. But I think that these teams are going to start to really figure out the format.
Oh, wow! Sean!
Wow, what a
From the back
shot.
of the court. Right to the pick.
www.islotnix.com from Asim Khan. He's logging on, and he's making a statement here for the Grizzlies. That's 2 points here on the power play. I think the scoreboard may be incorrect. Not quite sure. Yeah, and there you see he caught the ball there on that lob from Nassar.
30 seconds.
Sean, am I wrong, or is it 9-7 Grizzlies?
I think you might be right there. I think this, or it is 8-7. I mean, regardless, this is good defense and not great offense here. As we mentioned the first period, he might not be the best player to use the power plays. It should, and maybe go to Jeremiah, but maybe they're saving it up for the third period.
I mean, that's really well done from the star, who still light on his feet, is moving so well there, and did a great job of lifting the ball, using height, keeping it above the service line and out of the reach of Khan in the midcourt. A lot of those high crosses with perfect width from the back, and that's exactly what you want to do, to not give Khan volleying opportunities, to not give him opportunities to put the ball away, and just ran like a maniac. That is a brilliant shift from Nassar, who has the Dragons in really good position here in the second. Here comes Finley Withington. Little collision there, but everyone seems to be okay. Here's the Philly boasts.
Oh, he waited. He waited.
Cheeky.
All right, now we got... Makes sense for Finley to be using the power play. He's probably the most attacking. And after that success he's
had, there it is.
And just like that.
With some zip into that front left corner. Yeah, Finley's the guy on Newport.
And this is the type of urgency
on the
we
power
need.
Play. Yeah, he really understands the assignment here. There he's well up to 10, but he's going to rush to the service box and just get as many points in as he possibly can. He really has a good feel for what he's doing here. I don't know about that. You do want to build the rallies, though, Sean. You don't just want to go for the nick every single shot. You do want to put some sequences together. Oh, and there he rolls it home once again. Withington, almost halfway through this power play, has Newport even with 11 minutes to go in the second period.
I mean, good defense from Khan here. Both teams kind of mitigating the power play, Jackson. It could be just straight squash after this power play.
I would like to give Khan some credit for his defense, but also it just comes down to Finley maybe shooting a shot or two too early in the sequence and not building the rallies and just making a lot of errors. So while Hassan is doing his job... Oh, and there's a great close out there. I think the pace, though, now is getting to Khan. The fact that Finley is rushing to the service box, Khan is tiring a little bit here. You can see heavy legs for him. So now maybe he's going to force some loose shots here over the next 30 seconds. And just put the ball on Finley's racket. See, that's a tired movement from Khan. Normally he gets that ball back all day long. He's really feeling it here. Oh, I mean, this is the kitchen sink.
Great ball.
And the dishwasher.
3-point lead. 3-point lead for the Newport Dragons. with the power
Yeah,
play of the second period being over now. It's just squash.
It's just squash. So no rush here for Finley. He's going to want to just play this rally out.
I'm really slowing the pace.
Sean, I don't know if I've ever seen a player as aggressive as Withington on the power play. There's a double fist pimp from Kosker. He's fired up.
Oh, he's tired. He's asking for a
it's...
substitution here. I see Khan's asking for sub.
He's cashed. And here's the problem, Sean, with Perry Malik subbing out as early as he did. Andy McAfee says no substitution. Perry Malik subbed out with 4 minutes, only 4 minutes in this opening period. So now it's going to be a mega shift here.
Oh, this is really concerning. Finley looks very
this is
fresh.
Just really poor clock management from the Grizzlies. It's going to cost them. And Newport already up 5 points, still with Spencer Lovejoy, as steady as they come. Still to go. I mean, this is going to be a 9-minute shift for Azania here. Can't think of someone I'd rather have. Can't think of anyone I'd rather have defending a lead than Spencer Lovejoy. So steady, he's going to really
there he is.
look to eat up minute when he checks on, and Spencer's just gotten up to go warm up. He'll probably check on in 2-3 minutes here to close things out.
I mean,
Azania has been by far the best player for the Grizzlies.
Absolutely, he is by far he is the best player on this team right now.
The ball did come out a little bit. Oh, no let. Really? That seems harsh, Sean. It seems a bit harsh.
A bit harsh, but anything to level the playing field here. I'm for it.
It's about the content, Sean. We know that.
Eight minutes, more than enough time for Jeremiah to come back here.
I mean, Finley is just taking every single ball as early as he possibly can. Top of the bounce, on the volley. He is just being, for better or worse, completely and utterly aggressive here.
Oh, that's a stroke, apparently.
Interesting. Here comes the long drop, maybe. No.
I mean, outside, I know we talked a lot about Jeremiah's mistake there on the power play in the first period, but you got to give him credit for that lead he did build up against Spencer, and he does look like the most balanced player out here. And commentators curse there as he makes the error, but he's still in reach.
Yeah, see, Azania would have had Finley if that drop shot was just a little bit better. I think Kosker's going to want to make a substitution after this point because Finley just looks a little bit cashed. There you see Spencer ready to go. Yeah, Finley's certainly tired here a little bit. The lactic acid building up.
He's built the lead again.
Yeah, Kosker turns back to Spencer and holds up one finger, likely to signal one more point for Finlay. Spencer's going to check on with around 6 minutes left to close out period number 2 for the Dragons to take an emphatic 2-0 lead. There's a stroke for the Argentinian number 1 who will fight valiantly to get Chicago back into this second period. Oh, there's a little flick.
Clever.
Blistering pace here in Newport, Sean.
Oh, he's putting Spencer in prime position here, Benley. I mean, I believe he might be the MVP so far of the evening.
Yeah, he very well could be. I think all the Dragons have played great squash so far this evening. There's a big-time ovation for Withington.
Crowd goes
Here comes
wild.
Lovejoy with 5.5 minutes to protect a 6-point lead. I think the odds of him doing so are pretty darn good. You're asking Lovejoy to go out there and play defense.
A fresh-legged
Very
Lovejoy
few
as
guys
well.
that can do it better. Fresh legs. He's fit as the day is long.
Put a little buster on that top center like he's Kendrick Lamar. Oh my goodness.
Jackson, you never cease
Talk
to amaze
about
me with
pancakes.
phrases.
Sean.
That might have
I
been,
mean, right on cue.
Wow. Oh, that Nick was a statement. I mean, that just sucked all the life out of Chicago right now.
Yeah, I mean that should be. I mean, it's going to only be worth 1 point on the scoreboard, but really, in terms of team morale, in terms of momentum, that's a 4 or 5 point neck right there. I mean, that completely has sucked all the life out of Azania here. Who's trying to stay ready, who's trying to stay fresh, but it's too long of a shift to put on his shoulders, and he still has 4.5 minutes to go. He's already been out there for over 5 minutes. It's just poor clock management from the Grizzlies. Pat Kosker has executed things brilliantly over these first almost 2 periods now. Newport in really, really good position to take a 2-0 lead. Spencer using margin on those drop shots. Just looking to stretch these rallies out. It's nice anticipation from Azania.
Tad bit ambitious there. I mean,
Yeah, it's
got to be risky,
well,
right?
you've got to be at this stage of the
Take a
game. Yeah,
massive lead.
absolutely, Sean. There's the lob from Spencer. That's picture perfect. I mean, he's playing this so well. Can't say I'm surprised. League co-founder. He's going to know the rules and strategy like the back of his hand.
I mean, it does help
No
that he's
weak
just also
link
playing
here
brilliant
this
squash
afternoon
here,
for the
Spence.
Dragons. Yeah. Yeah, just quality from all 3 members
Not
of the
missing.
Dragons here this evening. I think it must be the positive juju from Sam Lovejoy in the crowd, Sean, that's willing Spencer to play at such a high level.
You gotta get this
here
crowd
this
following
evening.
Spence throughout the entire PSA tour if he's playing like this. I mean, great squash from him. And that kind of might have broken the
he's-
spirit for Chicago Grizzlies for period 2.
Yeah,
here,
and
just like they were
Grizzlies
broken in
are gonna-
period 1.
Take it on the chin here and regroup and give it everything in the third period, try to force a shootout. It's really good to see from Spencer. He's been in a bit of a slump these past couple months, but he's played so well here tonight, and hopefully this will allow him to build some momentum heading into Newport's next match and some of his individual matches on the PSA Tour. Spencer's really not trying to force anything here. He's going to make Azania beat him. He's not going to give up any silly tins. He's just played this so well.
2 minutes left in the period, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, straight out of the leisure center from Azania. Too little too late, though.
My God, Jackson. I mean, what do you say if you're the coach of the Chicago Grizzlies right now, heading into the third? Do you switch up the lineup? What's got to be done here?
Well, obviously, I think it's just such a mistake for Azania to have been out here for a 10-minute shift here to close out the second, because they're really going to need him in the third. So I would, if I'm Azania, I'm really not going to exert any effort here over the next 90 seconds. If I'm Chicago, I'm putting Azania out to start the third period. And obviously, because you get 3 substitutions, one of the guys on Chicago, if Chicago elects to go that route, which they should, one of their guys is going to get 2 shifts in the third and final period. I think he has to be the guy to get those 2 shifts. but it's an unfair ask to go.
I would have put it out that
there
they're
for 10
saving up for me,
minutes.
Jackson, for a shootout. We could be seeing a completely different version of Chicago in this third
Sean
period.
has
That's my
been
hope.
itching and scratching galore in hopes of a shootout. He has yet to be on the comms. 4-1. You've probably called a double-digit number of matches here now in the NSL, Sean, I'd have to imagine, and no shootout yet. So maybe tonight will be the night. It will be in play.
We are primed for it.
It'll be best of 5
Last
individual
20
points.
seconds.
If we do get to a shootout, we will make sure to break down the rules for you a little bit more in depth. Elmer's glued to the side wall in the front left from Mr. Lovejoy, putting the finishing touches on what has been a brilliant second period from the home team, the Newport Dragons. As the raspy voice of Bill Buckingham counts us down. Newport 2, Chicago 0. As we're through 2 periods here from Newport. Chicago has some major work to do. They've lost the first 2 periods by double digits. They need to win the third to force a shootout here in the opening matchup for both of these teams in the National Squash League. Bill Buckingham is talking to Andy McAfee. Sean and I are going to step aside for a few moments here. We'll be back with the third period live here from Newport.
Tried it for myself, and it was something that I really enjoyed and was something that would get me up and moving and be like a more productive person.
I just squash because it was one of the sports that really attracted me, and the places that we would travel to, it was really like eye-catching to me.
Honestly, I went there and it was good vibes, a good community, and so I was like, okay, I think squash is a sport that I want to play.
Ever since I picked up the racket, I just like really like this sport because it's unique from other sports.
It made for me.
I fell in love with the game when I first hopped on court.
I don't know, it's just different and it just challenged me, and I like being challenged.
When I tried it, I fell in love with it.
Oh, it's just like something new and like different, but like also at the same time like it's fun to me and I'm good at it. So like I want to compete and get better.
It's not an easy sport. I mean, it demands so much and it takes a lot out of you, but the reward is so fulfilling.
Welcome back to Newport, Rhode Island, the site of opening day here for the Dragons. You see the St. George's student body out in full force for this Dragons home match against the visiting Chicago Grizzlies. Newport out to a commanding 2-0 lead as we head into this third period. Remember, the third period, 30 minutes instead of 20 minutes. And it is worth 2 points instead of 1. So Chicago very much still in this thing. They can win the third period, which would force an overtime, sudden death shootout. It'll be best of 5 points to determine the win. There you go, Bill Buckingham telling the fans in Newport to subscribe to the National Squash League YouTube channel. If you're watching at home, do it for this wholesome kid. Subscribe to the National Squash League on YouTube.
I thought Bill was plugging
Smash
squash
the like
radio on the
button.
mic there, so.
Oh, Bill Buck, I'm sorry. We talked over, what a shame. We talked over the squash radio plug. Apologies for those listening at home.
I was just assuming that he was. I doubt he was.
I think it's a safe assumption to make, Sean.
But serious
There's
regroup
Bear
needs to be
Dyke,
done
the
here for
owner of
Chicago.
the Newport Dragons. There's Sam Lovejoy and the Lovejoy family. For the support.
Jackson, is this
his
a wake-up
brother,
call
Spencer.
to the entire league for how good the Newport Dragons may be this year, that we may have counted them out with also their top 2 players not even playing in today's match, showing their depth, consistency. I mean, the way Finley was able to push up the pace, I think, has been ruining legs throughout. I mean, these professionals can endure hours of play, but I mean, the pace that he's bringing to the table here kind of knocked Asim Khan out in that second period. Put so much work into the legs of Jeremiah as well, and Spencer kind of reaped the benefits of that as well with his good squash. So just brilliant all around from Newport.
Welcome back to the court for the Chicago Grizzlies.
So true. It's so true, and I think that Finley was awesome. He was on the power play in the first period and the second period. The first period was more successful for Finley in terms of points scored. He racked up 7 or 8 points on that first period power play. But the second period power play wasn't as successful in terms of getting points on the board, but it was successful in terms of putting some major work into the legs of Asim Khan, who was completely gassed at the end of those 2 minutes. And we saw Finley started to rack up the points in the last 45 seconds of that power play. Interesting choice here. Perry Malik out first for the Grizzlies. It would have been Azania for me personally. We have 3 substitutions in this third period as opposed to 2 in the opening 2 periods. And each team will get an extra 1-minute power play in addition to the 2-minute power play that they already have in the opening 2 periods. Sean, if it was me, it would have been Azania out to start the third period for the Grizzlies. I would have had.
I think you're right.
We've had the other 2 check on and have Azania come back on. I mean, he had a 10-minute shift there to close out the second, so maybe it'll be Malik, Azania, Khan, Azania potentially. At least that's what I would be looking to do, but it also depends on the freshness of all these players. And forget that Malik was so good in the opening of that second period. He started down 4-1 or 5-1 against Nassar, who was rolling to open the second period, and then he ends up coming back to build a 7-5 lead before a premature substitution. So he was actually awesome for that 3 or 4 minute stretch.
Do you love the body language right, Perry Malik here?
Beginning of the period. Yeah, he's really on his toes.
Stepping up.
He's very forward here. Yeah, 2 very attritional players going at it here to kick off period number 3.
We need this type of urgency if they're going to push a shootout, or that's a great shot.
It's a great trickle boast.
Great
and Sean, the scores of these matches do matter because these 2 teams are each in the North Division along with the Lake Erie Beacons. The winner of the division will advance to the NSL playoffs. There will be 4 teams in the NSL playoffs out of the 9 teams that are in the league. That's great touch from Lovejoy from the midcourt. Silky
Gorgeous
smooth
touch.
hands.
He's finding his range today.
And there's Malik on the back cross Nick. That is outrageous on the backhand. And Sean, just like that, I've won the race to outrageous. It took us to the third period to get to outrageous. But I pulled it out.
Jackson,
there
I think these 2 players might be confused that this is a power play.
Yeah, these 2 players holding nothing back. 2 generally very attritional players. Very defensive playing styles. Really taking that extra half step up on the tee and looking to volley, looking to take it into the forecourt. Finding the nick there. Excuse me, the 10 there was Malik.
2-point lead.
But just to finish the earlier point is the 3 teams that are in this North Division will play each other in a round robin. So both Newport and Chicago will take on Lake Erie over the course of this regular season. One of those teams has a guaranteed spot in the playoffs if they win their division. And then there's another wild card spot available for a 4th team. For a 4th team in the league. So the 3 division winners will advance to the playoffs, and a 4th team who didn't win their division but has the most collective points. So even if Chicago loses this match, they are going to want to lose in a shootout as opposed to lose 4-0. A 4-0 loss would be really tough to come back from for the Grizzlies, as there's great attacking once again from Lovejoy into the forecourt. He's gone unconscious here in this home matchup. We're going to take a few moments here in the midst of this third period to hear from our coaches. We caught some audio in between the periods from the sidelines. So let's take a listen to Pat Kosker and Andy McAfee from in between the second and third period here.
I love it. That was the best 10 of the night right there. We needed that. Have to do the 1 minute sub right first. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Great. Yeah, just keep recovering, right? 30-minute period, right? 2 substitutions. Right. Okay. So we have to do the first substitute, the 1 minute sub, right? First. Power play. Big stuff. Awesome. No let up in the third. No let up.
There you hear the voice of Pat Kosker.
Oh, yeah.
No let-ups here in the third period for the Newport Dragons.
No let-ups. And Spencer is executing as his coach demands. 10-5 lead to start this off. Already, Chicago Grizzlies already finding themselves in a little bit of a hole here. And a bit of a frustrating error there, making the lead 11-5 now.
Spencer was a keeper for this Newport Dragons team. He was on the Dragons last season, one of only a few players in the NSL this year to be playing for the same team as he was last year. As you see a little bit of top spin from Spencer on that backhand drive, and Malik there putting together a nice sequence. Lovejoy on the angle.
Big shout out to Newport. I think it is very important for players to feel secure in their organization and for organizations to keep their players, kind of entrusting their players. And Spencer's delivering here with a great performance.
Yeah, he's been awesome. But there's great touch from Malik. Only 4 points back. We still have 24 and a half minutes to play, Sean. The Grizzlies are very much in this thing. But they're going to have to pick their power plays wisely, and they're going to have to capitalize in the right moments, play the big points well. But in terms of quality and in terms of tactics, Newport has completely outclassed Chicago here over the first 2 1/3 periods.
It's not an impossible lead yet. It's just a 4-point lead. One power play could really swing to the other side. So, and as you mentioned, there's another.
Oh, it's a really nice Philly post.
3-minute power play. Oh, the hands.
It's quick, Sean. It's quick. He's going to get it. Oh, that's great.
One too many. Great shot.
Little forehand slap into the corner there from Malik.
3 in the morning.
Cuts the deficit to 3. So we mentioned a part of that.
I mean, this pace is more of
Malik
Malik's
family
groove here, so.
Yeah, he's really finding his rhythm here.
Another attempt. Cross court Nick.
He's really going for it. Oh, here's straight out of the Leisure Center. Oh my goodness, Sean, these are some great rallies here over the last couple of minutes. Wow, the quality is really picked up for Malik. Oh, not up.
Beautiful kill.
It's a great shift for Spencer, and he caps it off with an exclamation part on the forehand kill from the midcourt.
Coach Pat's got to be happy with that one, that performance to start this third period off. As he said earlier in the mic, brilliant to get his nugget there. No let-ups in this third period.
Once again, reverse post.
Error.
Oh, hit the 10. Yeah, that is a costly error. Malik was building some momentum. This is the other piece that is under talked about when it comes to substitutions, the clash of styles. Malik was used to playing against Lovejoy, who's very patient, who likes to build rallies, very attritional. Now Finley is going to completely throw the kitchen sink at Malik. It's going to be a very different look for the Englishman here. Yes, these two are both Englishmen, but it's going to be a very different look for Malik is Withington. Two very different playing styles that he's going up against with no real time to regroup and reset mentally. It's very tough to adjust on the fly. And I would imagine that Newport's going to call power play coming up here soon if Malik doesn't sub off. He's been on for 8 minutes now. And honestly, I would use up one of my power plays here if I was Pat Kosker after this rally. If Malik doesn't sub off, yep, there it is.
Yep, just as you said, Jackson. Much needed substitution.
Yeah, the Grizzlies maybe.
And we called it, Jeremiah. The right player to be on right now.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, because obviously 2 more substitutions for the Grizzlies. Asim Khan will be the 3rd player on in this period for the Grizzlies, and then it'll be interesting to see if Chicago goes back to Azania to close out the 3rd, or if they go back to Perry Malik, who opened up the period, and right on cue, no warm-up needed for Jeremiah Azania with picture-perfect width on the forehand cross.
Great lob.
I mean, Finley is just so great to watch. He just takes the ball as early as humanly possible. Even if it's on the bounce, if he can elect to take it off the half volley, he will. If there's a ball that's in the air, anywhere even close to the midcourt, he's going to take it on the volley. Perry Malik watches with keen eyes, hoping that Azania is going to be able to get his team back into this 3rd period. They trail by 6. So we're about a 1/3 of the way through the final frame here from Newport. Once again, these two teams battling in the North Division. If the Dragons win this matchup 4-0, they're really going to be in the driver's seat to win this North Division.
What a rally.
Yeah, I think that's the right call, Sean. That was really close to Finley's body. I'm not sure if he would have been able to play that. But obviously, a poor shot from Azania. It's into the middle. Just not sure if Finley was in position to get a consistent strike on the ball. There's Andy McAfee.
Lines the neck.
The acting head coach for the Grizzlies here this evening, I should say. And there he is holding up the power play light. And honestly, this is a great power play situation for the Grizzlies. It's a great power play situation for the Grizzlies, Sean. If I'm Newport, I want Nassar or I want Lovejoy defending the power play. I don't want Finlay defending the power play. As good as he is attacking, maybe not as strong of a defensive presence. We'll see. This will be their 1-minute power play, so the Grizzlies will still have their 2-minute power play at their disposal. But so far, so good for the man from Manchester, England, the former British Junior Open champion, Withington.
Also interesting to
has the right idea
kind of
here.
Stop Finley from getting any points here. That's another way to use the power point, not just about you scoring points
that's a great
yourself as a
point.
team, but kind of blocking the other team from scoring points and extending this lead that they already have.
Very true, Sean. Very, very true. There's point number 1 on this power play for Azania. He's got to get to 2 to make this power play worth the while for the Grizzlies, but Withington has completely changed his playing style on a dime. He's like a chameleon here. This is brilliant from the Englishman to adjust in this way.
That is the end of the power play.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, what a brilliant understanding of the format for Withington. But if Finley wins this point, Sean, he will not score a point. But there's no rush there for Azania. And Newport answers with a power play of their own. Here we go, Sean. 1 minute. Elmer's glued to the sidewall in the front left. Here's 20. Oh, look at the flick of the wrist. I mean, he might be the team MVP.
I don't know why Jeremiah's opening up the court.
The width.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
this could
no,
be disastrous
I mean,
here.
Sean.
This could be disastrous. I don't know why Jeremiah's taking the ball short
Sean.
here.
Can't believe how seamlessly he's adjusted here, Finley, from attacking to defending to attacking. Feathery touch into the front left. Welcome to the National Squash League, Finley Withington. Have a day, sir. Here's a quadruple fake! Oh my goodness, Sean! Pulling out all the stops for the Dragons here in the opening matchup of the season. James Willstrop, eat your heart out, channeling his fellow Englishman, the former world #1. Oh, and touch once again.
Oh my goodness.
It has been all Newport. It has been all Withington all night long.
End of the power play.
Oh, he's the undisputed MVP right now for me.
Oh my goodness. There's an error from Azania trying to force the issue, trying to get it all back at once.
Oh, this is brutal. Brutal the camera work there.
I mean, Azania has been completely deflated. I think Chicago's got to make a substitution after this point because just mentally Azania's got to be fried after that power play. It has to have taken a toll on him. There you can see he's just a little bit more flat-footed on the tee. He's very upright on that drop shot. He didn't get low and down to the ball, and he makes an unforced error in the front left. They've got to get him off the court. Azania's been so good all day, but the pace from Withington has really gotten to Azania. And Bill Buckingham, our master of ceremonies, over on the winning side right now with Pat Kosker.
15 minutes left in the match. You guys are up. You guys are up 2-love. What are you telling the boys right now to just hang on?
I'm really proud of them. They're doing great. They're fit. They're strong. So we just keep going. We just keep rallying, keep playing the points out, being smart, making good substitutions and power plays, and let the boys do their thing.
21-year-old Finley Withington seems to take to this format like a fish to water.
He's the best. We talked about it.
Stop play. We have a substitution for Chicago. Awesome Khan.
Much needed substitution here.
Sean, we talked about the versatility from Withington there, to go from attacking to defending to attacking so seamlessly and shifting his strategy and his tactics. I think the most impressive thing I've seen this evening, though, is the versatility of Bill Buckingham. He's an interviewer and he's an MC, going straight from that interview with Coach Koska right into the substitution announcement for the people here in Newport. It's been fantastic all night. And what a piece of movement from Withington. That was a picture-perfect drop shot from Khan. Withington digging it back. He's really feeling himself. Once you start slotting those nicks, Sean, and putting winners away, somehow your legs seem just 10% more fresh. Somehow you get that little extra bounce in your step. That was the problem with Azania's. Some of the balls that were winners from Withington near the end of Azania's shift normally wouldn't have been winners, but he's just so deflated. Mentally, he had been run around the court. He's trailing, and
great power play from Chicago right now. Much needed power play.
Yeah, so this is the match here, Sean. This is the match because both teams have exercised their 1-minute power play. Newport still has their 2-minute power play in their back pocket. Chicago has to do some major damage here on their 2-minute power play, or the Grizzlies are going to be done and dusted here and are going to walk out of Newport still winless in their franchise's history. The only winless team in the National Squash League in 2024. And they're 13 and a half minutes away from kicking off 2025 winless as well.
What a get.
I mean, Withington is moving like Mustafa Sahal out there right now. Some of these pickups are outrageous. The wrist and forearm flexibility from Withington I found incredibly impressive too. There he is. He turns around like Miguel Rodriguez with the flick.
Pat loves it.
I mean, he's putting on a show here. Is the man from Manchester.
There it is. That's the move.
Yep. Oh, no. It's not even close. It's the very bottom of the 10, Sean. And Sean, we haven't seen Abdelrahman Nassar since the very start of the second period. He's going to be fresh as a daisy to close out this match. Yeah.
We got 12 minutes left, and they've already scored 31 points, Jackson. This is unbelievable. What a performance from Finlay in his NSL debut match.
And Khan taking a breather on that left side while he is cashed. Finlay Withington perhaps building an NSL MVP campaign with his performance here this evening. Depending on how he plays against Lake Erie, he may be in contention for that award. Out of nowhere, Finlay Withington obviously teaming up with Spencer Lovejoy in this match. Those two have had a big-time rivalry on the PSA World Tour. They've had some major battles in the PSA, Finlay and Spencer, and teaming up tonight to, at this point in time, obliterate the Chicago Grizzlies. We still have 12 minutes left to say. We don't want to speak prematurely, but it's been all Newport here this evening from the St. George's
Newport
Pool.
need to do is draw out that clock at this point. I mean, it's just such a monumental task for the Chicago Grizzlies. 11-point lead.
I mean, Sean, it looks grim.
Chipping away.
We do have to remember that Newport still has their 2-minute power play at their disposal. Chicago out of power
that might be the
plays.
dagger there.
Yeah, Newport still has
play.
2 substitutions left. Chicago only 1 substitution remaining. This is a crucial point in the match for the Chicago Grizzlies. It's now or never. Yeah, it's plenty of room to play that ball for Khan. Mike Riley has been completely on the ball as far as I'm concerned tonight, Sean. He's been absolutely awesome. Been in total agreement with almost every decision he's made.
Oh.
Khan.
That's what Chicago need.
Steph Curry flick of the wrist there for the Pakistani number 1.
Should be Nassar's serve here. 2-minute power play.
Yeah, and this
could be
the
devastating.
dagger,
This could be the
as you
dagger
said.
here.
And this might just be
See,
Kawhi
Khan
Leonard
isn't
in
the
the
person I would want defending it right now
2019
after
District Conference
how tired
semifinals.
he
Yeah,
looked in the
I would
second
agree.
period.
I mean, Sean, he was leaned up against the left side wall trying to catch some air before Nassar came on for his substitution. He looks gassed. He looks gassed. We still have 90 seconds to go. Oh, a bit of fortune
Talk about
there.
defense. If he can keep doing that.
3 wall boasts, back wall nicks, pulling out all the stops here. Tonight is Khan.
I mean, it's also, again, saying it again, they are killing the clock with this 2-minute power play. Whether
That's
they
true.
score points or not, I don't think it's relevant. It's the fact that they're
very
taking
true.
away time for Chicago Grizzlies to score points.
It's a great point, Sean. Yeah.
So,
Just gonna reset here.
Well done from really no pressure.
Bit of
from Nassar
frustration
here.
now from Khan. Yeah. That's a stroke. It's absolutely a stroke. Khan frustrated, but he's played it right back to himself in the middle of the court. Oh, he wanted that badly. To Nassar.
I mean, underrated defense from Khan here. What he's doing, slowing down the ball, extending.
Trying to get one more point off before the end of the power play. He did. He did. So no rush for Nassar because it'll be the last point of the power play no matter what. But yeah, he did not lose a point there, even though he hit the 10. So now 13-point cushion for Newport. Sean, they still have... No, I'm sorry. They only have one substitution left. I apologize. One substitution left, as does Chicago. But Nassar, much fresher than Khan. I mean, 8 minutes left. I mean, Khan looks gassed. I think you have to, as much as you'd love another minute or two from Khan, I think you have to get Azania back in there. As for Newport, will it be Lovejoy or will it be Finlay? I'd imagine that Kosser would want to go for Spencer, the more defensive player, but Finlay's been so good, both attacking and defending. Yeah, he points to his temple there. Does Nassari. Pulled out of the shot a bit too early. He turned up field before he caught the ball, as we would say in American football.
It's a 10-point lead.
And a little 3-0 run here from the Grizzlies. Yep. Great width there from Nassar, as you can see in the upper left part of your screen, the upcoming women's schedule for the National Squash League, the inaugural Women's NSL League in 2025. We had our first match of the season for the ladies last weekend. The Philadelphia Freedom victorious. And tomorrow, Philly will have their second and final regular season match as they take on the DC Inferno at 2 p.m. live from the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center. Sean and I will be on the call for that one. Once again at 2 p.m.
Action does not stop.
Eastern Time. The action is nonstop. I mean, Sean, that is going to be an absolute cracker. Talk about star power left and right. You've got the U.S. #1 and world #4, Philadelphia native Olivia Weaver playing for her home team, Philadelphia Freedom, and Amanda Sobey, the world #8, fresh off of her win at the Squash on Fire Open last week, and U.S. #2. Star player
it should
for
be a belter
the
of a
DC
match.
Inferno. Obviously, Amanda's been as high as 3 in the world, and perhaps a little bit of envy for Weaver, who has now moved into that U.S. #1 spot.
For the Grizzlies.
And we got Perry Malik come back on.
Perry Malik, the final substitution for the Grizzlies.
A little stability
He's
to
got
end.
major work to do in the next 5.5 minutes. Yeah, but that women's matchup should be outstanding tomorrow between DC and Philly. I can't wait to call it with you tomorrow, Sean.
What a shot.
Oh, I mean, that was, as Joey Barrington would
Really
say,
let
dead
go
as a
of his arm.
dodo in the front left. I mean, wow. Yeah, his
His backhand
feathery,
work
feathery
is
touch.
gorgeous. Yep, this is unbelievable. This might be too much now.
5 minutes left in the period. 5 minutes.
There you see some of the upcoming men's matches for this second season of the National Squash League. We've expanded from 6 men's teams out to 9, so that means more regular season matchups for all of the fans, all of the people out there watching here this evening. And also, last year with only 6 teams, we had only 2 teams that played in the NSL finals. This year we have a 4-team playoff to accommodate the expansion. So every match counts. Each team with a chance to find themselves in the playoffs, even though Chicago's likely going to fall 4-0 here to Newport. If they're able to win 4-0 against Lake Erie, they may have a chance to play themselves into a wild card situation. That movement looked so much like his brother there, Sean. I feel like I've seen Curtis do that 100 times. That little slide and underhand forehand flick. And once again, Abdel Rahman, the star. There were doubters when the Dragons picked him in the 4th round of this year's draft, but he was absolutely awesome this evening. I'm not surprised after an incredible collegiate career at Trinity College, and I'm so happy for him. One of the classiest players that you can find is Nassar, and what a great debut for him in the NSL here, Sean.
Great debut, and just it gets me excited what I could see from him in the PSA Tour as well. I mean, he'll be moving up the rankings for no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. But in terms of these upcoming matches, if the Grizzlies win 4-0 against Lake Erie, then they're going to have a chance to maybe play themselves into the playoffs as either a wild card team, or maybe if Lake Erie beats Newport 4-0 and Chicago beats Lake Erie 4-0, then we're going to have to really go into the weeds in terms of who's going to win the division. It's going to be down to individual points, maybe individual point deficit. I mean, Newport has really thumped the Grizzlies in all 3 of these periods. It hasn't been very close. So, I mean, the Dragons completely control their own destiny here.
I've seen in the NSL so far, and we can see how devastating it can look.
Yeah, and you got to be happy for Newport, who was victorious in their home match last year, where the Dragons got thumped by the New York City Knights in their road match. That was a complete slaughter at the Opera for the Dragons. So bouncing back, that was their last match, dating back to early June of last year, was that thumping that they suffered at the hands of the Knights. So obviously New York went on to win the NSL championship. Newport went home early, did not make it to the finals, and they
made some big decisions as an organization. They dropped Raman Tandon, Sanjay Jiva, got themselves, as we said, the most decorated player with Shorbaghi, and they are looking good. They look like they have the depth this year. They look like they have the star power.
Malik now bringing out all the stops, maybe just too little too late. And yeah, especially if the Dragons get Mohamed El Shorbaghi back. Shorbaghi, a year or 2 past his prime years, but perhaps the most decorated player of the 21st century. Yeah, you're spot on, Sean. Yaya Al-Nawasani, who's has a higher PSA ranking than any of the players we saw this evening here for Newport.
I mean, scary times for the rest of the league is one of the big takeaways from today, right? With how good Newport looks, and a bit concerning for Chicago.
Absolutely. Chicago is going to have to really regroup. Obviously, they're going to hope to get Yusuf Ibrahim back for their 2nd match of the season against Lake Erie.
Who's recovering from a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
So this is it's a bit grim
for Sean,
the future of Chicago right now.
Sean, let me ask you this. If Yaya and Mo are available for that Lake Erie match, who do you like of the 3 guys we saw today to accompany those 2 as the 3rd member of the Newport team?
I mean, from today's performance, I think it's got to be Finlay. He's showing
I mean, I think you might be right.
How damaging he could be. But then again, if you want to look at team construction, it might be better to be a bit more defensive player with Spencer, with how attacking Shorbaghi could be. I mean, he could do it all, and Yaya's a bit more attacking as well. So they got options.
Yeah, that's a good point.
A lot of different options to play with.
Yeah, the key is versatility in the NSL, and we saw that here this evening. Finley Withington, so good attacking. Lovejoy, so good defending. Nassar doing a little bit of both. Silky smooth, really letting the arm go. Effective attacking into the forecourt.
9, 8,
And such a fluid mover.
5.
He was awesome. A complete team victory for the Newport Dragons, from Lovejoy to Withington to Nassar, all the way to Coach Pat Kosker, who was brilliant tactically here this evening from the St. George's School in the Stee City, Newport, Rhode Island.
Tactical masterclass.
The tactical
really showing today
masterclass.
that coaching matters. Coaching matters in this format. When to use the power plays, when to use your substitutions, it matters.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the big takeaways.
Dragons will send home fans home happy with a big-time W to kick off their season. They advance to 1-0 on the year. Here's Bill Buckingham with our winners.
The captain of the Dragons, Spencer Lovejoy. Spencer, you must be thrilled. This crowd, an opening night win here at Newport for you. I know it's a great performance by the boys tonight. I thought we had a great night. I thought we did really well. Oscar, Finn, your first NSL match. You turned the tide in the first period. That power play was something to behold. Talk about your first experience here in the NSL.
I really enjoyed it. It's a squash like very hard work, so that 2-minute power play took me a little bit to get into it. And as soon as I'm feeling it, I'm there.
Yeah.
You held tight during the power play. You defended as well as anybody. Your first ever NSL win. It must just feel great.
It's special. I want to thank everyone for being here. They worked a lot.
Pat Kosker, first step done. Next step on to Cleveland. Last year, the Newport team fell one match short. You have to go to Cleveland, get a win to move on to Philadelphia.
Hey, I just want to congratulate our team now. We'll deal with Cleveland when we get there, but thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for the families for hosting these guys, hosting the Grizzlies too. What a great community, great squash community we live in. Thanks to our owner, Bear Dyke, for setting this all together and putting us in a comfortable place to win this match this weekend. And to St. George's School, obviously. What gracious hosts we are. But I'm just really proud of the boys. Lucky coach, proud coach. What a great performance tonight.
Congratulations, Pat. Ladies and gentlemen, one big more round of applause for your Newport Dragons. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. We look forward to seeing you the next time here at the National Squash League.
Nice job.
Sean Troy, the Newport Dragons are the third team to advance to 1-0 in the early going of this 2025 NSL season, starting out their year with a bang. Big time exclamation mark that they put. Exclamation mark, it would be a question mark and exclamation point. I often get that confused, Sean, but here we go. Every group, major exclamation point that they put on the foreheads of the Chicago Grizzlies. Here at home, they will be on the road at Lake Erie in a couple of weeks. Spencer Lovejoy, Abdelrahman Nassar, and Finley Withington victorious with head coach Pat Kosker leading the charge for the Dragons, who win 4-0 over the 0-1 Chicago Grizzlies. Your final thoughts from a great evening of squash. It was a blow-up, but the quality was still really high, and it was still a fun watch, in my opinion, Sean. I had a great time.
I mean, what a blowout, what a statement win for Newport. I think, if anything, other teams should take note of this match. When you put the strategy together, you can really blow out a team. It's not just about the squash. There are other elements that come into play, and I think this is going to be a blueprint for success in the future as well.
Absolutely. And Sean, we mentioned it. Newport, without their two best players, still able to win each period by double digits. A big-time statement by the Dragons at home. Once again, the Newport Dragons 4, the Chicago Grizzlies 0. The Grizzlies will need to regroup ahead of their matchup against Lake Erie. The Dragons in the driver's seat to win the North Division and book their spot in the NSL playoffs. They control their own destiny, and we look forward to seeing them take on the Beacons in a few short weeks. For Sean Choi, I'm Jackson Bragman. Thank you for joining us on the National Squash League YouTube channel. Make sure to join us tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for the Philadelphia Freedom versus the DC Inferno right here on YouTube.
Driving the most important initiatives for the growth of squash in the United States.